Hello, it's
Hey,
week 18, the week where teams rest their players, some of them, and you get some weird, really goofy lines. So you're going to notice that I wasn't aware of that a couple times and I was way off, but it's kind of a asterisk because it's week 18. All right, let's rip. First game, we have no Thursday game. We have no Monday game. They try to condense everything on Saturday, Sunday so that more teams are playing for something at the time they're playing if they're still in the playoff hunt. So that's what we got. I think we got two Saturday games, and then we got everything condensed into noon and 3 on Sunday. And I think
one Sunday night
that's
game?
that's
Sunday night game?
no, I don't think there's Sunday night game. This is the last one.
No, everything is just in the morning, afternoon, huh?
Yeah, I think it's roughly even noon games and 3 o'clock
Okay.
games. There might even be more 3 o'clock games. So,
Yeah, the Bears were flexed in the afternoon slot.
oh, okay. Yes, because the Packers have something to play. Well,
That's right. They could be shut out of the playoffs 2 years in a row on
Yeah.
the last day of the season.
at home,
Yeah.
against a division opponent.
Yay!
I think every game is a division game in week 18. They try
Yes.
to do that to make it
Yep.
make more meaningful games, I think. So
That's right.
here we go.
Bam, let's do it.
We got the Steelers at the
With
Ravens.
the Ravens rusting everybody in God.
Uh, I think so. I have Steelers
Yeah.
by 3.
So I still want Ravens by 3.
Yeah, these are tough. I mean, like, it's hard to tell how many guys they're resting if they're going to play for a quarter or two. And I mean, it's tough.
Lamar's
So,
not playing, though, I don't believe.
okay. So it opened at
Steelers.
Steelers 2.5, and it's up to Steelers by 4. So
Yeah.
I get that one. Yeah, I mean, so the Steelers have a chance to make, they have like a whatever. I don't know how they determine this, but they have a 28% chance to make the playoffs. And the Ravens have clinched the 1 seed, so they literally have nothing to play for.
And beaten most of the good teams in the NFC along the way.
Right. So the Steelers have to win, and then they have to have some series of events happen in the AFC South.
Like a series of unfortunate events.
No, well, the Colts. I don't know. The South is the Texans division, right?
Yeah, so the Colts and the Texans are right there. So the Colts are currently in, and the Texans are right out, and then the Steelers are right behind the Texans, and they all have the same 9-7 record.
Yeah, so it's a mess. Steelers have to win, and they have to have like one or two other things at least fall into place.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't know exactly what they need, but there's sites out there that tell you what they need. The bottom line is they're playing at either noon or 3 on Saturday, and at that point, they know they need to win,
Yep.
and they're not going to be scoreboard watching or anything like that. So it's obviously a huge game for them. So
Yeah.
these are always interesting when you have a team that's desperate and they have a team that's playing backups but is kind of playing loose, and it can be a spoiler for a team trying to make the playoffs that's in their same division. So these are really hard. These are pretty much stayaways usually. I don't know what you
Don't
do
bet
with
the
that,
last week.
because a lot of people are just going to say, well, yeah, like, okay, so the people who really don't know what's going on are going to say, well, Baltimore's a dog, I'm taking them for sure. And then the people who are like, oh, I know they're resting their starters, I'm jumping on Pittsburgh. And like, I don't know, like what's the right side? I mean, it's a very what's the word? Polarizing situation, I guess. So I don't know. No strong opinion on that one. It's kind of a weird.
I mean, you're not going to see Baltimore. Like, you're not going to see the full Baltimore team. It's like if you're just thinking about what games I want to watch, it's not even like.
Right. Baltimore, they had like 5 healthy defensive backs by the end of their last game. And I don't know how many of those guys are like hurt or just need a week off, but that's another thing. Like, you're going to be seeing some practice squad guys, I think, log some time at least this week. But we'll see.
Messy, sloppy.
We'll see how that goes. Okay, let's go on. We got another one here. Texans at the Colts.
I'm going wrong in most of these. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Just
well,
forewarning you.
I suppose like there's at least 2 that I'm completely off on because I just didn't realize the
Well, some of the announcements didn't come out till like today.
Yeah.
Like this morning.
All right, so we got Texans at Colts. I went pick 'em.
So I had the Colts giving 2, and it looks like the line started with the Colts, but then went to the Texans.
Open Colts 1 and jump to Texans 1.
Yeah.
All right, so
Which is
we would have split it, but I get it. Okay. I don't know, like
the Colts have something to play. Like they need to win this game. They can't like rest Gardner Minshew. Is that something you do? Do you rest a Gardner Minshew? Your backup starter?
Wait, they have to win. They could.
That's what. They have to win, right? Like Colts have to win, don't they?
Well, I think if the Colts lose, there's a scenario where they could still make it, but
okay,
they would only have 9 wins. Like I don't think that's happening.
Well, they have 9 wins. Yes, that's right. So if they lose, they would be 9-8.
And if the perfect scenario happened, I think they could still make it if the right teams that have 8 or 9 wins lose.
Okay.
But it's kind of a mess.
They certainly wouldn't want to, because then they would be like just losing record-wise to the Texans. So they can't lose this game. I don't see how they can lose this game and still get in.
Right.
I mean, I guess the convoluted scenario where the Bills also lose, and then the Browns lose like 5 games, and then
so here, if you want to look into these things, I think it's the New York Times. Like if you Google it, New York Times has like a playoff scenarios thing where it tells you the percent chance they have, each team has to win the division to make the playoffs. Like if they win this week, if they lose this week, and it's very good. And you can kind of click into it. It's kind of like a tree format where you can click into each team and just figure out what their probability is. So the Colts are in if they win. If they lose, it gets complicated, I think.
Yep.
But as far as this game goes, so I don't know. Like if it was a regular season game, I think you see the Colts favored by a little bit more. It just seems like when everything's on the line for one game, that's why I went pick 'em. I think, I don't know, the Colts might be a little bit better team overall, but then you got Stroud on the Texans, and people probably think he's a more clutch or better quarterback, even though he's only a rookie. So yeah, I don't know. Like I think I would roll with the Texans here, but I don't know. Like the Colts have won a lot of games where people kind of wrote them off when Richardson went down. So who knows?
I mean, they've been a playoff team, like in that playoff bracket for like the last 5 or 6 weeks. This team has come out of nowhere, kind of. I mean, a Colts story is these are 2 great stories. Like, especially when you think about Stroud and the whole draft and what's happening in Carolina. Like, I don't know if this is going to be a great game, but like, what an interesting like division this has been with these 2 teams. And then even thinking about the Jaguars, who have sort of led like wire to wire, but also kind of suck,
right?
And have the same record. So there's theoretically the division is up for grabs, I feel, this week. If the Jaguars lose and then like the Colts lose, but the Texans win, Texans are going to win the division.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the Jaguars were reeling, and then they woke up and found the Panthers on their schedule and shut them out. But yeah, it's a interesting division. And I guess selfishly, I want the Texans to win just because I think Stroud in the playoffs is interesting. Like if he goes on a run as a rookie, I just think that'd be kind of a cool story. But
legendary stuff.
I don't know. There you have it. Basically a pick 'em. It was Colts by 1. Now it's Texans by 1. So pick your winner there. Okay. Now, speaking of bad opponents for the Jaguars, they just played the Panthers and now they play the Titans. So it's Jags at Titans. This is Sunday at noon. I have the Jags by 4.
I have the Jags by 3.5. They are playing their 3.4.
3.4.
Shaving a little off.
It's all the same. You're never going to get the half anyway. All right. We have it opened at 3.5.
5.5.
And it opened at Jags 3.5. It went up to Jags 5.5. So I get that barely. So I like the Titans here. As much as you can. Well, I don't think so. I mean, he went out with a foot injury last game. I don't know how serious it was, but I think it's Tannehill. Don't quote me on that. But just because the Jags really haven't been playing well for a month and a half, and it's a division game, and the Titans have a chance to play spoiler, and like I know the Titans played horrible last week and got smoked by the Texans, but I think they still have a little life in him.
Mhm.
I really like. I don't know, especially if Tannehill starts. I just think I could see this being like he plays well. The Jags like on the road against anyone right now. Just like, do you trust them? I love the as much as you can love a team that has what 5 wins, the Titans.
Yeah.
I just think they play spoiler here, or they keep it very close and maybe don't pull it out in the end.
I mean, the Jaguars lead the division for the entirety of the season, except for the last whatever minutes of this game.
Yeah,
Like,
and there's that.
then there's
for sure.
done every week until the last game. Oh my god, dude! Does everybody get fired then? Does Peterson get fired? Does Shahad Khan decide to sell the team? Wow.
I don't think so, but
We'll see.
yeah, I mean,
See.
yeah, we will see.
Woo!
Okay, now we have another game,
Hmm.
the fourth one on the schedule here. We got the Vikings at the Lions,
Hmm.
and I have Lions by 6.
The Lions giving 7.
And this is one of those where I didn't really. I kind of thought the Lions would rest some guys, but I wasn't really sure.
No, Dan Campbell's their coach.
Oh, okay. So it opened at 4.5, and it's down to 3.5. So I get that one too. So
Not great for me.
I don't know if Vegas is sort of middling this, like they're gonna maybe rest some guys, but they're still gonna play hard because obviously the Lions are. If this game was, well, whatever. If this game was a couple weeks ago, the Lions are favored by more than 3.5. But if the Lions are resting everyone, this game's probably more like a pick 'em, or Vikings might even be favored. So it's kind of in the middle there. And this is one of those that you kind of you'd have to wait and see like who's playing and like how the game plays out. I don't really know what to expect. You also have the Lions off that officiating debacle against the Cowboys and like maybe playing with a chip on their shoulder. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on here.
Yeah, there's nothing for them to like. The Lions can't get the number ones. There's nothing. I mean, outside of pride, they're probably the 3 seed. Like, does jockeying between the 2nd and the 3rd seed in the playoffs make a difference?
It seems like coaches and organizations don't care about that because I mean, there's a weird scenario where like you could get one extra home game if the right teams win, if you get this 2 versus the 3. But at that point, I think teams are just kind of confident in their ability and they don't really care as much. Because, getting a key player hurt in that last week would be way bigger than not getting a home game week or like the 2nd or 3rd round of the playoffs or whatever. So, and on the flip side, so the Vikings are not mathematically eliminated. And here, I didn't look this up, but I was just kind of reasoning through it. I think this is what they need to happen. They obviously have to win. They need the Falcons to beat the Saints. They need the Bears to beat the Packers. And they need the Cards to beat the Seahawks.
Which is not impossible. None of that is impossible. Like, nothing you said.
Right. Or, like,
that is all possible.
Some ties. Well, let me think about this. 8-1. No, ties would hurt them too because they'd be 8-9 versus 8-1. So I believe those are the 4 things they need to happen. So obviously, none of those teams I mentioned are playing before them. So when they're playing, like at the time they're playing, they're going to be playing for something. So there should be plenty of motivation for the Vikings. Although with the quarterback flip flop constantly, like I don't know what to do with them. Like Mullins is going to start again now. I have no idea why they started Jaren Hall last week with how bad he looked and being in contention for the playoffs. Like that was obviously not the right move, but whatever. 3% chance for the Vikings. So,
I think if every team ahead of the Bears loses this weekend, which is possible, I think they could make the playoffs. And the Bears win.
They actually are mathematically eliminated.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's weird. I don't really understand it.
I don't either. Because just looking at the records and the conference records.
So if the Vikings would have beaten the Packers, they would have had a chance because of like division record or something like that. If they beat the Packers.
Oh, okay. Is it the division?
They would have needed a similar scenario to what the Vikings need. But they are technically mathematically eliminated. I'm not exactly sure what the details are there.
Yeah, that's weird. They are right. What a stupid team. Sorry. I mean, to pull focus from what we're talking about. What a stupid team.
Yeah. Again, like if the season started right now, you're most people are picking the Bears to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So,
oh my God. Remember when I said fire everybody like 5 times?
And then the offseason will come, and then next year it'll be like,
that's great.
There's no continuity, and like they forgot what to do or forgot
they
what
get blown up by the Packers again on winning day.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll get to those Bears in a little bit.
You're right. Sorry.
All right. We got the Falcons at the Saints. Yeah. I went Saints by 3.5.
The Saints by 2.5.
All right. I think it's right around
3.
there. Did I miss it?
Yeah, it's 3.
Okay, opened at Saints 4, and it's down to Saints 3. So we split that one. In hindsight, I guess like these are the two most like maybe comparable teams in the NFL. Like just go Saints 3, but it did open higher, settled at 3, makes sense. I don't know how anyone trusts either one of these teams. It seems like the Falcons win, lose, and they just lost to the Bears. So
convincingly,
I think like the Falcons and the points. If you have to take this, I think that's the right side. Just because it's one game, anything can happen. I think you sort of throw a little bit of the home field out.
And what's his name's playing for his job? Probably Arthur Smith. They both could be playing for their jobs. The coaches there.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Like I feel like when I have a beat on whether a coach is about to get fired or not, I'm usually not right on that. So I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Allen has been there less time and has provided more stability. Arthur Smith is not done. This is his 3rd year and he's not done much.
Yeah. Oh, it is his 3rd. That's what I was going to say. So Allen, it's his 2nd year?
I think Allen took over last year because he took over directly from Peyton, didn't he?
Sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was there last year, and this I think is his 2nd year.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if either one of those teams has any business being in the playoffs, but the Falcons is another one I don't. If they win,
I think they have a worse record than the Bears.
I think. Are they out? So they're just playing spoiler. Is that fair?
Yeah, they're right below the Bears. So they're 12 seed. Bears are 11 seed.
So they're both 7 and 9. Yeah. That's one to look up. I mean, they're below the Bears because the Bears just beat them. But I don't know if there's a scenario where the Falcons get in. I want to say no, but they're going to be
playing for the division. There's no wild card hope. I don't believe it's like for them. I think they have to win the division, and I don't know if that's possible.
All right, let's look this up. Can Falcons make the playoffs? They have a 17% chance of making the playoffs by winning the division.
Yeah.
So they beat the Saints and the Bucks lose. They must win their division.
That must be it. Yep.
What a mess. I mean, I think we just give the team they're supposed to play a bye if that actually happens. But I don't know. I guess I would still like to see the Vikings in the playoffs too if the 3%er can happen. But anyway, let's go on here. We got a really good game. Next one here. We got the Jets and the Patriots. So that's Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady.
Barn burner.
No, it's not. I have the Patriots at home by 1.
I have given 1.5. Bailey Zappi, right?
Yep. The Zap Master.
The Zapster.
Okay, we're both really close. It opened at 1.5, and it is 1.5.
Bam.
So Josh gets that one right on the nose. All right. Let's analyze this juggernaut.
So I was listening to the Bill Simmons podcast this morning, and he's like, I want Bill Belichick back as the coach. And that surprised me. Then I listened to what he had to say. And it still surprised me. The thing with this team is it's by all accounts, everybody, the people in the know, and then just the eye test watching it, it's a garbage team. Crap players. You know who's responsible for that? Bill Belichick. You know what also? They're like in every game they play with a shitty roster. So echoing Bill Simmons, I feel like in this scenario, Belichick's a good enough coach to to beat the Jets by 1.5 points.
Yeah, I agree. Like
What else?
again, if you can trust either one of these teams, but the Patriots at home, it's well, here's something I didn't think of, but it's his last game with the Patriots, right? So like maybe they're playing a little bit harder. You got Trevor Siemian probably still starting on the road. I don't know. I think the Patriots is probably the right side, but you could also say, well, the Jets and Patriots at this point are sort of like equal teams. Like, why is it only 1.5? I don't know. But yeah, the whole Belichick thing is just dynamic because they didn't get the quarterback right this time, but how often do teams get a quarterback that is like the one or like very solid? Like it's like 30 to 40% of the time. I think I saw something where like when a quarterback went 1 overall, how often did the team hit on that quarterback? Obviously that's subjective, but it was like 30 to 40% of the time. So, and he has his defense playing well. He's a defensive guy. Like, and the thing is, like, if you hire a new coach, like, what are the odds that coach gets it right
and wins 6 Super Bowls?
Exactly. But then again, like, the Patriots haven't been good for a few years, really. I think they were close to making the playoffs last year, but
they made the playoffs with Mac Jones in his first year.
Yeah, one year they did.
Yeah, and he was quite good. I mean, it felt like, oh wow, they got it right, and then he fucked it up. Like he didn't. And look, everybody's screwing up their quarterbacks, right? Look at what Tomlin did with, he started Trubisky 3 games, and apparently their third string starters are way better and has been on the team for years. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I know. It's easy. It's easy for us to say, but yeah, it certainly looks.
It's my unpaid job to do this, though.
Yeah. All right. So we have the Bucks at the Panthers.
I think the Patriots are going to win this game 2-0.
2-0. Safety cover.
Yeah.
Onions, blouses.
Right.
All right.
Because they were in a game where it was decided by 3-0 this year. So I'm going to go one lower and say 2-0.
Yeah. This is one of those like I read that the over-under for Iowa points scored in the first half of the Iowa-Michigan Big Ten championship game was 0.5, and they did not score in the first half. It's like
they got blanked, didn't they?
Probably.
They got blanked in their ball game too. Yeah,
they have like a linebacker playing quarterback. He's like got a beer belly. Can't really throw or run. Mm-hmm. It's like, what? How is this the best option you have?
It seems like a complete failure to go into a ball game and lose 35-0 or whatever happened. Like it was bad. I just saw, I think today, though, they're maybe getting a transfer from Oregon, a QB transfer. Not Bo Nix.
Bo Nix in his 14th year.
17th year. Yeah. I mean, I would be pretty good, though, honestly. I'd put some money on them next year. Bo Nix was QB.
Yeah. Get him another year of eligibility. Woo! Okay, Bucks at Panthers. I have Bucks by 5.
Bucks by 3.
Okay. Opened at 5.5. It's 4.5.
That's probably right.
I get that one. Okay. The Panthers lines the last like month, it's like they're conducive of the Panthers are still kind of playing hard and trying to play spoiler. So they've been kind of low, and they kind of most of the time haven't been playing elite teams either. So this is just another one of those. Bucks by more than a field goal, less than a touchdown on the road. The Bucks, obviously, if they win, they're in. They win their division. If they lose,
everybody's fired.
They probably have a weird chance. They'd be 8-9.
They would be 8-9.
Yeah, so they probably have a weird chance to get a wild card. But winning in against the worst team in the NFL, but it's on the road, so that could be very interesting. The Panthers couldn't score last week, and they were going for it on 4th down from their own like 20-yard line, and just like, who cares mode. So I don't know what you make of this.
And their owner just got fined $300,000 for chucking a beer into the stands.
Really?
Yeah. I guess some fans were heckling him. He was standing on the sidelines, and some fans were heckling him or heckling the team or booing, and he turned around and threw his beer at them.
He could have paid half of a entry-level salary of a player with that $300,000.
He could have paid a fine of $1 billion and been like, I'm going to go buy another yacht and 3 houses. I mean, in the moon. Like, he's fabulously wealthy. I think he's one of the top 3 or 4 like wealth level owners in the like league. Like, so yeah.
He probably was thinking he should have thrown 2 cans.
I mean, he could have dumped a fucking pig.
Oh, here's the thing. Did he miss or did he hit the
I
person?
think it looks stupid. Yeah, I think it was one of those things where he went it and then it went like
Yeah.
like laterally instead of back.
Like when
Yeah.
the kicker pushes the field goal
Yeah, and
it misses the
yeah.
net.
Or when I golf and it goes.
Sir, your club face isn't even coming through.
Well, that's the problem. That's it.
All right. We got, I don't know,
Browns, Bengals?
7 down, 9 to go. Browns at the Bengals. And this is one of those where I didn't understand what was going on. So I have Browns -3.
I have Bengals -3 and or sorry, I have Bengals -5. I did check this morning when I was doing this, and Flacco is the rest. Who was going to say that we need to rest Joe Flacco in week 18
Right.
of the 2023 season?
He was resting on his couch for more than half the year, and now he's resting again. But he is old bones, so.
When did he become mobile? Like, that's the other thing. It's like one of the reasons he sucked so bad was he was just a statue. And then, like, last week, he's like scrambling for first downs like he's Justin Fields.
Yeah, I don't think I saw those plays, but I don't like. He never was was fast.
No, he was not a mobile guy. Like, and that was his problem. He couldn't get out of the pocket. He was just it was defenses were eating him up. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna run for the first down. He's got like 5 guys on him.
They're gonna find roids in his system, and then he's gonna
What, right? Like he's eating babies or whatever. Like he's got some stem cells.
So, speaking of roids, you see that in the MLB, but you like never see it in the NFL anymore.
You don't hear about it.
Give up on it. It's like these crazy guys are getting concussions every week, and let's just let them burn themselves out. And
You feel like it has to be somewhere, right? Like something.
Everyone figured out how to evade it. I don't know.
The cream in the clear. Remember that? That was all the rage.
All right, so I had Browns by 3. Josh has Bengals by 5. I thought the Browns could somehow get like the 2 seed, but they can't win their division, so they're the 4th is the highest seed they can get, which means they're playing a road game. Or wait, 5th seed. They're playing a road game first game, so it makes no sense for them to play anyone who's
especially
moderately hurt or valuable. So that makes sense. I'm way off. It's Bengals by 7, and Josh gets that one. And so now it's 5-2 with a tie. So this is another one of those, like, the Bengals can't make the playoffs. The Browns can't move up. Who knows? Like, hopefully it's a close game and it's something fun to watch, but I have no idea what you make of this.
I don't know. Don't play the Browns in the playoffs. How about it? That's what I make of it.
You think the Browns are going to – oh, yeah, you said –
I did. I said they were going to beat the Ravens. Yeah. I still feel that way. I mean, if Joe Flacco can put up 300 yards against the Ravens, I like the Browns. He 5 of his last 6 games, I think he threw for something like that, 300 yards.
The Jets, depending how you look at it, some places said the Jets have the best pass defense, right? He had 296 yards in the first half against them.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like
he just everything is just the moonshot down the field, everything.
And that was without Cooper, who had 265 the week before. Yeah. It's like, man,
he set a record.
I don't know. I think they're gonna like implant Flacco's organs in like one of these rookie quarterbacks to see if they can get it to be a hit.
Yeah.
Hit in the draft.
Something.
I don't know.
I mean, question for later is like, where does he QB next season? Because there's no doubt if he's not on the Browns, like somebody's giving him a contract next year.
Yeah, I mean, logistically, well, not logistically, whatever. Like the Browns should bring him back, but they got a mess with the finances.
Like $200 million to Deshaun Watson or something like that. Not guaranteed, but
yeah, I don't know what they do, but I mean, like he obviously deserves to play again. And who knows? He'll probably tear his ACL in the playoffs, and then it'll be like, oh, well, the Flacco
Yeah, the Flaccasance is done.
chapter 2 on the Flaccasance.
Listen, when he's 57 and he's leading whatever team, that London team, to the Super Bowl, we're all going to be feeling pretty stupid, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be just as fast as he was when he was 27, I'm sure.
Probably.
Okay, we
right.
got the Bears and the Packers.
Bears.
I went Packers by 3.
I went Packers by 3.5. Stupid flipping Packers.
One of us, I think, is right. I think it's right in there. It could have moved a little bit. It opened at 3. It is 3. So I'm gonna get that one. Okay. So this is fair. Like the Bears the last month and a half have been very solid. The Packers are at home, have a chance to make the playoffs. They just need to win and they're in. I mean, I just at this point in the season, these teams are pretty equal, and I just put it at 3. But I as much as the Packers have dominated the Bears, I think the Bears is the right side here. I just think they're going to play spoiler. Like there's something to be said. Like, okay, guys, all we have to do is win and in. Like, it's like you press or like the nerves are higher, whereas the Bears are coming in. Hey, we can ruin someone's postseason. Let's just go play. Like play loose and play hard, and like it just seems like that side is usually right. And just the way the Bears have been playing, like
Montez Sweat is going to eat Jordan Love. He's going to sit on his head all day long and have a tea party.
So this is the Bears Super Bowl, right? Like this is it. This is their chance to do something and ruin someone's season. I just like that side. Should be a good game. And maybe I'll drive up to Lambeau and take it in.
Ooh, yeah.
3-hour drive, something like that. No, not happening. Yeah. So are you confident in your Bears?
No, God, no. I don't. I really don't like this coaching staff. I really don't. And I think that the best attribute, the best thing you can say about your head coach is he coaches a top 15 defense. I feel like he should not be your head coach. And I don't care how many games. Like, if you have to qualify how good your season is by saying, hey, man, our last several games were awesome. It's like, well, what the hell about the first couple of games? Why did it take? I don't know, man. They've shown nothing that they're ready for this, and that what they did luck into is some really good players, like that Montez Sweat trade was which seemed so stupid at the time, was genius to turn their season around. Like, I still like just show all of those guys the door, keep those players. And get a coach who can figure this out, like figure the game out, right? Development, and then understanding how to call a game, the offensive and defensive side of the ball. And
is that actually what they're doing though?
No, I think I mean, again, I don't know anybody or anything like that, but like the press is convinced that Eberflus is coming back.
That's kind of what I've heard too.
Yeah, I think what will probably happen, if anything does, is that Getsy goes. And I think if they decide to send Justin Fields the door, I think Getsy's definitely gone. There's no reason to bring Getsy back at that point. If Fields stays, it's probably a coin flip whether Getsy goes, because people are like, well, it's the 4th new system he's had. And I don't care, who cares? You're going to put in a system where they don't throw the ball? Probably going to throw the ball still.
You have to throw the ball with your left hand.
No running.
Yeah.
Just going to go back to Bears football 1920 style. I don't know. I do think the Bears are probably the better team in this one game. I think the Bears, whatever decisions they make, just historically speaking, will probably be the wrong ones. So.
All right, there you have it.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be an interesting offseason in the NFC North.
12.
Okay, we got the Cowboys at the Commanders.
Oh.
I have the Cowboys by 11.
I was going to say 10. I was like, it's too much. And I put 8.5, which is clearly wrong. It's probably going to be 15.
Yeah, I think it's like 13 or whatever, something like that.
Yep, 13.
13.5. It opened at, and it's down to 13. So neither one of us went high enough there. So the Cowboys are, I believe if the Cowboys win, they get the 2 seed. So they're guaranteed 2 home games in the playoffs. So obviously they're playing for something. I don't see them resting anyone until they're up by
Yeah,
4 scores.
because the Eagles can win, and then they could be the 2 seed. So they have to. Cowboys have to win. They can't.
Right.
They can't lose.
So can Washington play spoiler at home?
No.
I have no idea. Like,
No. Sorry, the answer is no.
oh, okay.
So I'm telling you.
Okay. I mean, 13 plus 13 on a home team is kind of wild. That's about as high as it gets.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spend any more time on this game. Like, I don't know. Like, it would be funny to me if the Commanders won this game, because it seems like a Cowboys thing to do. But
it feels like a Mike McCarthy thing to do.
yeah. But I don't know what to expect. Just flip it on in the fourth quarter if it's close, and it could be entertaining, I guess.
This is either like Cowboys like 50-19, or it's like Washington 20, Cowboys like 17. It's like, yeah, I don't think this game is going to be worth it. Unless you're a Cowboys fan and you want to see him dump it on somebody.
Here's a storyline. After the Cowboys win against the Lions in one of the most controversial calls against the Lions ever,
man.
The NFL retaliates and calls everything against the Cowboys, and they lose by 37.
They have 1,000 penalty yards in this game.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I don't know. Let's move on.
Yeah.
It's a game,
Yeah.
and we'll leave it at that. So now we have the Broncos at the Raiders. I have the Raiders by 2.
The Raiders. So close. There it is.
It opened at 2.5.
And it's 2.5.
And it is 2.5. So we're gonna split that one.
Are either of these teams in contention at this point? I mean,
No.
yeah,
both
they're
out.
both out. Okay.
They have the same record, right?
No, the Raiders are 7-9.
Okay. I mean, these two teams had some ups and downs this year. They're kind of like the same team. They both have everyone has a backup quarterback at this point, it seems like, but backup quarterback Stidham started for the Broncos last week, and he's starting again, I'm pretty sure.
He was on the Patriots, wasn't he? Got him he was the Patriots backup for Brady?
I'm not sure. Could be.
I think so. Anyway, doesn't matter.
So I mean, the Broncos are maybe a little bit better. So that's why I guess I went lower than 3, and it's 2.5, so it's right there. So Stidham started last week for the Broncos instead of Wilson, and who did they play? Someone bad.
I don't even know.
The Chargers. They played the Chargers, so they won
16-9.
I mean,
barn burner.
16-9. I think if Wilson plays, they win 23-9 that game. So I don't know. Some people are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, Stidham. He won a game. That's pretty good.
16 points, buddy."
I think he's gonna fall on his face here. I think the Raiders is definitely the right side. I just think they're gonna, like I said, I mean, Stidham had one decent game against a pretty bad team and a pretty bad defense, and now I think he's gonna fall on his face. But you got a division game. Teams probably maybe playing hard just for kind of brownie points. I don't know. But I think the Raiders is the right side here, but who knows? Josh Jacobs has been hurt for a couple weeks, so he probably won't play because there's no reason for him to put him in there. I don't know how much that really matters, but that's my take. All right.
Yeah, who cares about this game?
Yeah.
This is a next season game.
That was definitely enough time spent on that one. Okay. Eagles at the Giants.
Man, what happened to the Eagles? Like 4 weeks ago, this was like a who's beating the Eagles? Eagles are winning the Super Bowl. But now, like, fuck the Eagles, man.
The pretty little Cardinals took down the big bad Eagles.
They beat maybe they're just really good against the East, the NFC East, the Cardinals. So they beat the Cowboys, they beat the Eagles.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did against the Giants or whatever other team is in the NFC East, they're Commanders. But that's
kind of wild. If you cover up the rest of their schedule and show that they beat the Cowboys and Eagles and that those two teams are 22-10 overall, you'd be like, oh yeah, they're for sure a playoff team.
And they're the third worst team in the NFL right now, the Cardinals.
They might be better than that. I don't know. Anyway, Eagles at the Giants. I went Eagles by 6.
I have the Eagles by 7.5.
I don't remember. I think it's lower.
Is it? It
Both
probably
of
is.
yours, but I don't.
But it's how they've been playing.
It opened at 6 and it's
5.5.
5. Eagles -5. So I get that one. I'm up 8-2.
Excuse me. Sorry.
I don't like the Eagles. If they win and the Cowboys lose,
They're the 2 seed, I think, right? No?
yeah, they get the 2, I'm pretty sure. But I don't know. These games are happening at the same time. Like if the Cowboys are blowing out the Commanders, you're gonna see the Eagles pull their starters.
Probably.
There's always a couple of those games on the last week, which is interesting. It's like this is a little different, but a couple years ago, the Browns had won their game and they were like gathered on the field watching the
jump. Yeah, that was the Baker Mayfield game.
Yeah. Watching the big screen because they needed someone to lose or whatever.
Yep.
So you're gonna see some of that happen.
Oh, for sure.
As far as this game, so the Eagles smashed the Giants a couple weeks ago. That was still when Tommy DeVito was the starting quarterback.
They got Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, Tyrod Taylor.
That's got a cannon, man.
Yeah, just think if he could have really figured it out. He's a 5-tool guy if he could just like be consistent.
Well, he's been around the league. I mean, he's been around the league for a while now. And it's another coach. It's like if this he was injured though, right? That's why they were starting DeVito.
I'm not sure.
I think he was.
Oh yeah, for
like a few games,
right?
And then they rode DeVito because of all the hype.
Yeah. So, this is a weird one. Like I said, the Eagles, they will be trying to start the game.
Yeah.
But then they could be scoreboard watching. So stay as far away from this as you can. Giants are obviously probably playing for a little bit of like respect or whatever you want to call it. So Eagles -5. Pretty fair, all things considered, I would say. So let's go on to the Seahawks at the Cardinals. I have a pick 'em.
I've got the Seahawks getting 3.
I think you nailed this one. Where? It opened at 3 and it is 2.5. So it went down a little bit. So Josh gets that one. So Seahawks by 2.5.
Yeah.
In a way, I could have seen just what the Cardinals just did and how they've played. They've played pretty decent since Kyler Murray's been back. I mean, they beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh. They beat the Eagles in Philly. Like they're not a great team, but like Kyler Murray has a fighter's chance in any game. Yeah. So I just like part of me said I wouldn't be surprised if the Cardinals are favored, and then part of me said maybe. I mean, Seahawks 3 made sense too, but I just kind of middled it. So I don't know. Cardinals just beat the Eagles. They have a chance to play spoiler here again. The Seahawks, again, it's another one of those like Bears-Packers scenarios. Like if the Seahawks win, I think they're in.
Are they, so they've got the same record as the Packers right now, and they're out. So
okay, they need the Packers to lose, and they need to win.
So they need this game. Regardless, they need this game. They have to win this game.
Right. So like, obviously, it's like we need this game, and the Cardinals are like, let's just play loose. We're at home. Let's go spoil someone's day. Again, it just seems like the team,
unless they're playing for draft position, they draft a quarterback.
But they obviously haven't been.
No, that's true. That's fair. That's right. Yes, because they beat the Eagles. They're not playing for draft position.
So like, I don't know. Like I think the Cards is the right side. They, like I said, they're going to be playing looser. It's just a tougher. I don't even know what the word is. But
watching this game.
I think it's going to be a close game, and I honestly think the Cards will probably win just because of what I said.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'll be paying attention to it. That's for sure.
I know Kyler's just got some magic to him. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, that's another team where next year. Now I don't know. There was talks of Kyler Murray getting traded, but I think at this point they probably realize that he's worth. Like he gives you a chance to win a lot more than what they've had.
It's a new coach like that. They've
Right.
already reset this year. It's like, so it's, you reset, and if you're winning 4 games, it sucks, but like that's pretty expected, right? Like you're not, I mean, it happens, right? You come in like with Dayball did with the Giants last year. Like they sucked. He comes in, they make the playoffs. That didn't happen with the Cards, but yeah, I don't know. To me, that's like you just wait and see what happens because you feel like that quarterback is can be special, right? Like if you get the right coach in there.
Right. And so Gannon was the defensive coordinator for the Eagles,
yeah.
and he took them back into Philly and beat them on the road, which is interesting to me.
In a game when Philly needed it. They needed that game.
Yeah. So there you have it. I think the Cards is a great pick there. Take it how you will. Okay, we got 3 left.
Now this is a stupid one because the Niners are resting Purdy, which makes sense.
Right.
But they're still favored, which I don't get.
So we got the Rams at the Niners. And I have Niners by 4.
And I went Rams by 2.5. Because they're sitting. I don't even know who's their backup. Who's the Niners' backup?
It is the old Jets quarterback. Why can't I think of his name? Darnold.
It's Sam Darnold?
Yeah. Yeah, because
in the Panthers. And
he came in for Purdy against the Ravens.
Right. That's right.
Threw a touchdown.
That's right. Well, he also formerly he was on the Panthers last year. This line makes no sense to me with Sam Darnold. He's failed everywhere he's been. Lovely person, I'm sure, but I mean.
So I'll give my take on this one. So I don't know if I said this. The Niners are favored by 4. So Stafford is not playing because they are locked into a wild card. And okay, so the Rams.
Oh, Stanford's not playing either. I didn't think about the Rams.
Both. Okay, so the Niners have the 1 seed, and the Rams are in the playoffs but can't win the division, obviously. So this is another one where it's battle of the backups. Like, who's playing more starters? Who really cares that much in this game? Like, you don't really know. So because of that, I basically went home team by 3. I was going to go 3, and then I'm like, oh, I think it's probably a little higher because the Niners are still, like, overall, they're still a better team. Plus, Darnold is better than Wentz or Ripien or whoever's starting for the Rams. So that's why I settled on 4. And it seems like, I don't know, maybe that rationale is right.
I truly don't understand like how like these tiebreakers work if they're locked in, because several of the teams who are not in the playoffs would have the same conference record if they would win and the Rams lost. So I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to me that they're locked in. I should have looked at this. Anyway, that's definitely why the Niners are favored, I suppose. But I just feel like that's stupid because Darnold is not a good quarterback.
I mean, I think he's definitely better than Wentz or Ripien, whoever they decide to play. I don't know.
We will find out for sure. We'll see now. Maybe this is is it the system or is it Brock Purdy? Now we're going to see. So if Darnold comes out and throws for 5,000 yards and 20 touchdowns in one game
against the Rams backups,
then I think that's because it's not like it's only 4 touchdowns. It's like 5,000 yards and 20 touchdowns. So that's a lot.
Okay,
that's a lot.
So a big storyline here is McCaffrey tweaked his calf and didn't finish the last game. So he's going to get this week plus the bye week. So he should be, you'd think, 100% by the time he has to play, which is huge for them. So that's something to watch, but who knows what's going to happen in this game? Like, I don't know how you like one team over the other here. Just leave it alone.
Yep.
And here's another game that's got similar vibe to it. Well, sort of. Chiefs at the Chargers.
The Chiefs are sitting too, right? Because they're locked in also.
Yeah, I was way off on that, like really bad. But again, asterisk last week. Don't really know what's going on, sort of a thing. So I went Chiefs by 9.5.
I went Chargers by 2.
All right. So you're definitely getting that. It opened Chargers 1.5 and it went up to 3.5. All right, Josh gets that one. So yeah, the Chiefs have won their division, and I don't know if they can't get the 2 seed. if the Dolphins lose, I think they get the 2 seed. I don't know how it works out, but obviously the Chargers being favored by 3.5, the Chiefs are resting guys. So I don't know what you do with this one either. Like the Chargers favored by 3.5 against anyone with like any 11 players on the other side. I don't understand that. So just leave this one alone.
Not watch. I mean, what's the point of watching the Chiefs without?
Yeah, the only time, like if this is a 1-score game in the fourth quarter, turn it on. Other than that, I don't know what you do. Okay, and then we have, I believe this game's at 3 as well. I don't think there's Sunday night.
It's a Sunday night game.
It is Sunday night?
It's 7:20.
Okay. I was wrong. So if you listen to the whole thing, I was wrong. This is a Sunday night game. Yeah. So this makes sense because these two teams are both playing for something. The Bills at the Dolphins.
Yeah. Division on the line.
Dolphins win, they get the 2.
Yeah.
The Bills win, they get the 2 because they beat the Chiefs.
That's right. That's right. Head to head. Yes, because if the Chiefs win and the Bills win, then they would have the same record, and then they lost the heads up matchup this year.
So yeah, this is a good game for sure.
Especially with the Bills. Sorry, with the Bills, they were out of the playoffs like 5 weeks ago, and then it's like, no, I win one game and you're the 2 seed.
Yeah, I mean they figured it out. Like
people are picking them for the Super Bowl. They're like, oh yeah, Bills.
Well, yeah, because it's like, I mean, yeah, the Ravens are the best team, but some teams are, like the team that's been the best team in a conference sometimes is more convincing than the Ravens, although like they have been very solid. I don't know why it seems like people don't like the Ravens as much as they should.
They dismantled the best the NFC has to offer. It's not like these were close games. They kicked the shit out of the Niners. They kicked the shit out of the Lions. They kicked the shit out of the Cowboys. I think they played the Cowboys. Like they beat the hell out of these teams. Like it wasn't even close. And then they took the second best team in the AFC right now, the Dolphins, and they just beat the crap out of them, 56-19.
Yeah.
Like this team is, I don't know. I don't see how many looks at that and go, oh man, I like the Bills.
The Bills over who?
The Ravens.
Oh, yeah, right. Just the way they're playing, but I agree. The only other thing I think I heard is like the Bills knocked the Ravens out of the playoffs a couple years ago. So if that matchup happened, are the Ravens kind of like they've got a little extra nerves going on? Or I don't know if those things actually happen, but trying to put a spin on it anyway. So I have the Bills at the Dolphins. I have the Bills by 2.5.
I have the Dolphins by 5.
Whoa. I think I'm very close on this one. It is Bills. It opened 2.5 and it went to 3. Yeah. So, okay, the Dolphins just got smashed by the Ravens, and Tua hurt his throwing shoulder. I'm pretty sure he's going to play. I don't know how bad it is. So you have that playing into this a little bit. Like the Bills have won how many in a row?
The Bills
4 in a row,
5 or 6, like that.
4 or 5 in a row, 5 of 6, something like that. So, a lot of people would still say, oh, the Dolphins by 3, maybe. These teams are equal, Dolphins at home, but a lot on the line. Like I said, I think the last week of the season when both teams have something to play for, you skew more towards like a pick 'em. And then you can say the Bills have been playing more consistent. The Dolphins haven't really beaten. I mean, they beat the Cowboys. That's the only team they've beaten that has a winning record. So the Bills are beating good teams. The Dolphins are beating the teams they should beat, plus the Cowboys. So I mean, that's kind of why I went Bills instead of going Dolphins or pick 'em.
And they shellacked the Dolphins the last time they played.
Yeah,
20.
That's right. The Dolphins were coming in hot.
Yes,
the Bills
they were.
Needed a win.
Yes, and they just punched them in the face. Yeah.
But hopefully this is a good game.
Oh, it should be. Should be a really good game. So the Bills won 4 in a row, 5 of their last 6, and the loss within that period was an overtime loss to the Eagles, I think, in Philadelphia.
Okay.
And it was 37-30.
So yeah, they had that game too.
They were like, that was part of remember the Eagles that is like 3 weeks in a row where the Eagles had been losing and then they had come from behind to win. It was a weird stretch for the Eagles.
Yeah, Elliott hit a 59-yarder in the rain to send it to overtime, and then the Eagles won. So
yeah, that was a good game.
All right. your Bills from, I don't know, people giving up on them to being possibly the 2 seeds, kind of a wild ride. But
Crazy. So much of that this year. I mean, it feels like this season has had a lot of drama to it. Like things coming down to the wire, a lot of really good matchups in season. Like, I mean, well, theoretically that should have been right. Like Ravens, Niners, Eagles. Um,
yeah,
that's been good so far.
it'll be fun to get these teams that
Yeah.
aren't very good out of it and just
Yeah.
like focus on the playoffs.
Mhm.
But so we haven't decided for sure if we're doing playoffs. I think we probably will, but that's all your matchups for week 18. And hopefully we'll see you next week. Go Vikings.
Go Bears.